student Spanish teacher. Let me tell you a little bit about myself. I have 3 children, and they are all grown now, but what that means is I have lots of experience with teenagers, and I really like teenagers. You also see my stoic but supportive husband there, and I have 2 stepdaughters as well. So again, I know teenagers. I grew up in the St. Vrain Valley in the Longmont area, and I'm a proud graduate of St. Vrain Valley. I'm highly qualified to teach both English and Spanish. I have Bachelor's in Science and Business Administration in emphasis in marketing from the University of Denver, along with a Spanish minor. I did then later go back and add an English major. And then after I started teaching, I went back and added a master's in education. So really do love what I do and love the career that I've chosen. I teach right now Spanish 1 and Spanish 3, and right when we're on the video business, it's a little bit tough, but still every day we do try and practice speaking Spanish in addition to reading and writing it. But the Spanish culture is always also equally important to me, and I think that's what makes the language fun, and so we will definitely spend some time learning about the different types of culture that exist in the Hispanic world. Each day, class starts off with a warm-up, like you saw on the like you see on the left-hand side, followed by some kind of an assignment. The answer for where to turn something in is almost always Google Drive. So you'll see how this is just a really fluid way for me. I can easily see what your student has turned in because all the assignments show up, and I can tell where they are and what's going on with them. And so Google Drive is where almost everything, needs to end up after a student has completed an assignment. Where to find the assignments is in Schoology. And so you'll see a couple of things here in the screenshots. On the right-hand side, where the red arrow is, points to the calendar. So each assignment is entered into the calendar along with a link to what the materials that they'll need for it and an explanation of what the assignment is, obviously with the due date as well. If you click on that calendar, if you haven't already figured that out, you can also see the previous days, and so the assignments that were due a while back, you can see what those look like also. In the meat of Schoology, I have a folder for each unit that we are in. And then you'll see on the left-hand side the expanded unit where the purple arrow points where the different materials are that we're using in that unit. So for instance, it says object pronoun slideshow. That's where the notes are housed, in addition to different practices and assignments. And those are all in that folder as well. So there are kind of a couple places that kids can find assignments and notes and information. The only other thing that we will be using and have been using is the digital textbook that goes with our curriculum. VHL is the digital platform that houses the exercises and practices that we sometimes use, and kids get to this application through Saren. Saren is the district site that houses all the district apps, and you'll see the white icon with the red writing there is the one for Vista Higher Learning, or VHL. These don't need to be submitted anywhere other than right in the VHL app. The kids click submit, and the dashboard there then houses their work, and I can see it. I just want to briefly reiterate for anyone that might be thinking or wondering, this is not just a conversational Spanish class. This is much more than, hi, how are you, and what's your grandma's name? This is a highly academic class, and it will require work. Kids have to spend time learning vocabulary and practicing the grammatical structures. That's the only way that we can really have a mastery of the language. So it will take some time. Like I said, all assignments are in Schoology, but grades are always in Infinite Campus. And what I tell kids all the time is, I know stuff about stuff, so ask, try, make mistakes, ask me questions. The one thing that I am really, really passionate and absolute about is plagiarism. And that looks a couple of unique ways in Spanish. The biggest thing is that kids are so tempted in our easy digital world to just Google Translate stuff that they want to do. And I can almost always tell when this happens within really just a quick glance. And I've told kids straight up at the beginning of the year that plagiarism, Google Translating, will earn you a 0. This is your fair warning. And so I want to make that really clear. The other way that plagiarism looks is if kids get help from a native speaker and the help is stuff they don't understand. If it's how to say a particular word, that's one thing, but it's how to say, a complex sentence with advanced grammatical structures that just feel easy in English. The native speaker will just automatically give them something they don't understand. And so it's not that I don't ever want a student to ask help from a native speaker, but I don't want native speakers to give them advanced grammatical things that they don't know how to do and that they won't understand, because it just doesn't help. So that's sort of my soapbox there about plagiarism. I just want kids to take the Spanish and put it together in a way that makes sense for them, and not write some complex thing in English that they think then they want to translate, because no matter what you might think, at Spanish 3, you're still not going to be at the level of a translator. So that's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for just the bare basics of what we're doing in class put together in a way that makes sense. But I love Spanish and I love helping kids, and so I just want them to be sure to contact me if they do have questions. I'm always willing to answer. Stick around after class. Stay in the WebEx to ask a few questions. Email me, always. I will tell you that I am being inundated with emails right now, and I am very, feel very strongly about answering emails, but it's taken me a little bit of time now because there's just such a volume of them. But please ask. If you have concerns or questions, and I want your student to love Spanish. So I'm looking forward to a great year. Thanks.